Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make NBA DFS content. All these videos that get posted to this Reddit, I'll have it linked down below. I make updates with all the news that comes out throughout the day. You can ask me anything about the slate, so I'll have that link down below. And if you ever need to get a hold of me privately, you can get a hold of me on X right here. All right, let's go over my lineups from yesterday. I am just cooked tonight. Faded Bona 60% owned tonight, while Alex Reese is 12%. I went with Alex Reese, and yeah, so my night's over pretty quickly. Um, Break evenish day yesterday. This lineup cashed. This lineup did not cash. Jordan Goodwin, Matas just killed this lineup, and then D'Lo killed this lineup. But everyone else did really well. My core for this slate was pretty straightforward. Cam Thomas, Kevin Huerter, Luka Doncic, and Claxton was my core. Claxton low ownership definitely carried a lot of us. A lot of people in Discord had great games as well. And then if you're looking for more in-depth content where I give sportsbook plays, just a whole bunch of stuff, I'll have my Discord link down below as well. All right, 7-game slate for tomorrow, so let's just hop right into it right now. OKC at Detroit. Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, both going to be out for this game. Starters, my guess would just be SGA, Hartenstein, Aaron Wiggins, Lou Dort, Cason Wallace would be my guess for the starters here. With that being said, we know OKC, they control like the whole time. Like, I think, if I were playing a value here, which I think Cason probably your safest bet of the values. I think he's a pretty good value at 4.3K. You're probably going to see a little bit extra run for like Alex Caruso at 4.4K. How much has Joe been playing of late? Like Joe, you guys know the Joe with the OKC value whenever this happens. Like they're all going to get bumps. I think Cason is your safest bet. I do think he's a solid value. Everyone else in play. Aaron Wiggins has a ceiling. They can always troll his minutes though when he's playing bad. He's also questionable. If he's out, then I feel a lot better about like Casey's just gonna have to play a ton here. He'll also get the backup point as well. Actually, no, Caruso's in. That was last game with Caruso out, I believe. But you guys get the drill here. SGA with the team to himself, not the best matchup here, but spend ups on this slate. We do have a lot of good spend ups, but with no J-Dub, no Chet, I mean, he's gonna have to do everything for the team. So I don't think you can say no to SGA. I think he's a great spend up as well. And then with no Chet Holmgren, Hartenstein's gonna have to play a lot more minutes. His production is gonna be really good. Once again, not the best matchup, but a very solid center play on this slate. Let's move on to Detroit. Really bad spot here. So like Durant at 7-1 is okay. I think everyone else here is just in horrible spots. Like Cade, horrible spot. OKC, man, it's just really tough. Oz are in a horrible spot. I don't think I'm gonna get to much here. I think if I were playing anyone, it probably would be Cade. OKC tends to leave some three-point shooters open, so you could target like three-point shooting a little bit. But I don't think I'm going to really get to much here. I think it's mainly just Cade or bust for me. All right, Miami. Really good spot for the three-point shooters here. So, like, Miami switched up the starting lineup tonight. They went with Bam Adebayo, Tyler Herro, Andrew Wiggins, Duncan Robinson, and Jaime Jaquez. Back-to-back here, so we could see some people resting. Like, Andrew Wiggins could potentially rest on a back-to-back. We'll just have to keep an eye on it. They could have switched the lineup for matchup as well. They're playing Boston. Just keep an eye on the lineup, but like really good spot for like three-point shooters. So like if we get like Dunk in the starting lineup at 4.4K, I think he's a solid value. Jamie, really productive when he's on the court. I want to see what the minutes he's going to end with tonight. But if he's in the starting lineup, how many minutes is he at so far? He's at 13 minutes. Like if he starts again, he's a really good value at 3.5K. Like I said, I like Duncan. Really good spot for him. Khalil Ware can't get to off at the bench personally. I really like the top three guys here. Like Andrew Wiggins, 6.2K seems fine if he plays. Tyler Herro, 8.5K decent. Bam Adebayo, decent. So I don't mind this Miami team. I don't think anyone's going to really play them. I think people probably flock to the value if we don't have any value. But yeah, I don't mind the top guys as well. Moving on to Memphis. So yeah, same thing. If you wanted to attack Miami, you do it with three-point shooting. Jeremy playing tonight was a bit of a surprise to me. It's a back-to-back, so I would assume he sits tomorrow. Aldama, I believe, is going to remain out. So if those two guys are out, then of course, like bump to Ja, bump to Desmond Bane, I think they're fine at their price points, but not like standout plays to me. Edie at 4.9, really bad spot for him. If we get like Jaren out, sure, you can make the argument for like, I don't know, like Vince Williams, Wells, Luke Kennard, those types would be playable values. But if they're like picking up a little bit of ownership, I'll just gladly fade. What else here? More guys could sit on a back-to-back as well. So I don't think I'm going to mess too much with the Memphis value. All right, moving on to Chicago. And this, I think you need some interest in Chicago tomorrow. Giddey's going to remain out, so starters should be Kobe White, Vooch, Trey Jones, Montes Buzelis, Kevin Huerter. They're not priced up. It's like Kevin Huerter at 4.8K. It's a really bad matchup. Played 33 minutes. A guy, when he's on the court, is going to be productive. Can grab some rebounds as well. He grabbed 9. That's clearly an outlier, but man, really bad matchup. If he's like 60% owned tomorrow, like he was last slate, I think you can honestly make the argument to fade him, just because really bad spot. And at this price point, he's probably going to need like, I don't know, I want to say like 15, 16, probably 17 plus points, a couple rebounds, maybe like a steal, a couple steals to like absolutely nuke you. And this is like really bad matchup, but yeah, I think it's a really good value. Ownership's going to depend on what I want to do there. Montes is solid. Trey Jones can have a really good ball handling role. Played huge minutes. I really like him for value of 5.4. Vooch, I suspect his minutes will slowly continue to tick up, but still on a limit. Zach Collins is overpriced. And then, yeah, Kobe White with the team to himself I think is great. My only worry here is ownership getting out of hand in a really bad matchup. And then Julian Phillips, he played, 34 minutes last game. Definitely an outlier, but he's playable. THT just didn't play. Dylan Terry at 3.1 just barely played. Bit surprising there. All right, let's move on to Houston. Sorry, I'm going to throw my phone away so you guys don't hear it anymore. All right, moving on to Houston. Great spot here. Amin Thompson's going to remain out. So back-to-back, we could see like Fred VanVleet sit, but I love Sengun in this matchup. Just phenomenal matchup. Their go-to guy, going to play huge minutes, good rebounder, probably going to get you a double-double. Love Sengun. I love Jalen Green. Fred, not going to get to if he plays. If Fred's out, I feel better about these values like Tari Eason, Jabari Smith. They're playable regardless. Dillon Brooks, I think, is fine. No issue there. Definitely pretty high on this Houston team tomorrow. And then if Fred's in, really like Sengun, really like Jalen Green, still some interest in Tari Eason, still some interest in Dillon Brooks. Jabari's playable in large field GPPs. All right, Indiana. So back-to-back here, we could see some players rest. I would assume Siakam rests tomorrow on a back-to-back. He played the game tonight, so I would assume he sits. If he sits, then there's going to be some plays here. Like Obi Toppin, I'd really like for value. Benedict Mathurin would be a decent value at 5.3. Those two would be the main stand. And then Halliburton would look amazing. Really good matchup. We always like to target the Bucks with opponent guards. So he would just look, I would love some Halliburton if Siakam's out tomorrow. Pretty bad matchup here for Miles Turner. Nembhard would get a slate bump. I'd really like Obi Toppin. Mathurin would be decent. Nesmith, don't love it. But would be playable, just priced right, and then would love Halliburton. If Siakam's in, then I still love Halliburton in this matchup. I don't think anyone's going to play him tomorrow. Great matchup there, and I'd probably just be like Halliburton and Siakam are bust for me. Miles Turner, of course, is playable, but I don't think I'm going to mess with the value there. All right, let's move on to the Bucks. Okay spot here. Giannis, always one of the best spin-ups on the board. Good spot going up against the Pacers. Fast-paced game here. Environments that he absolutely crushes in, so yeah, I think he's the best spend up on the board. Damian Lillard, always in play. I think Kuz is still priced right. Brook Lopez has been on an absolute tear of late. I forget if the Pacers play drop, but that's what you want to target, Brook Lopez. But he's been on a tear. I'm not going to say no if you want to play him at all. What else here? I think that's mainly it. I think it's mainly just Giannis, Dame. Brook Lopez are bust there. I think Giannis is just the clear best play on the Bucks tomorrow. Moving on to the Knicks, not the best matchup here, but we know what they're going to do. They're just going to play massive minutes with no Jalen Brunson. Miles McBride's going to get the start. Karl-Anthony Towns, he should be able to just absolutely feast on the glass in this matchup. So, of course, like Cat quite a bit. I think everyone else looks really good here. Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges. Whenever OG and Mikal are just this close in price point, I always tend to just go with the lower-owned option. So whoever's low-owned, that's what I'm going to prefer. And then Miles McBride going to play mid-30s minutes. He's priced up to 5.4K. Still a decent point per dollar play. I'm not going to mess with like Campaign. He's not getting any overlap with Miles. Should only play about 14 minutes. Precious basically out of the rotation. And I'll mention Mitch. She'll play 15 to 20 minutes. If we don't get other value opening up later, I think that's perfectly fine. All right, moving on to the Warriors. Podziemski, I think, will remain out for this game. Kuminga, he's on a limit. That just muddies up everyone else. Post is playable, but I have no confidence in his minutes, but a playable value. Draymond Green at 6.4K, not the best matchup for him. If he's owned tomorrow, I'll just gladly fade. If he's low owned, he's fine. Butler, Steph, just fine options for me. It's mainly just those two up at the top. Game of the night, you're going to need this game no matter what you do. You are going to have to play Pels and Spurs tomorrow. This is the best game on the slate. It's not close. You are going to have these guys in your lineups tomorrow, more so the Spurs. But missing questionable if he's out. Starters, Zion, Trey, CJ, Olynyk, Matkovic. I would assume Bruce goes back to the bench. You see Bruce Alvarado off the bench with a little bit of Hawkins. So, yeah, I mean, Zion in the best matchup in the league. This is the best matchup here for Zion. Should play around 30 minutes in a competitive. I love him tomorrow. Even at 9.4, I love some Zion. I think Trey Murphy's a really good play. CJ McCollum, I like quite a bit. Kelly Olynyk, I like, especially if Missy's out. I'm really liking Kelly Olynyk. Matkovic will be a good value. If Missy's in, I'd be less excited about Matkovic, and then Missy would be solid. And then Alvarado should see low 20s off the bench, perfectly fine value. Bruce Brown, I'm probably not going to get to there. And then Spurs, yeah, Fox going to remain out here. So Vassell, Castle, both look like two of the best point per dollar plays in the slate. Sochan, really solid value. Chris Paul, way too cheap. Keldon Johnson, I absolutely love for value. Harrison Barnes is playable. Champagne is solid value. So I do want to see what the minutes end with tonight on these guys, but Spurs are clearly the best team to target on this slate. It's not close. And then this team, my least favorite team to target on the slate, we go from the best teams to the worst team to target. Poole not playing minutes in competitive games. Feel like they're just buying into the tank right now, giving the young guys run. Chris Middleton, not going to play minutes, so it's hard to go there. Everyone else is priced up, so I will pass there. And then Denver, yeah, great matchup here. Jokic, probable. Oh, no, that's for the game tonight versus the Lakers. So back-to-back here, I guess some people could rest. Aaron Gordon's in tonight, surprised by that, so I'll assume he sits tomorrow. If Aaron Gordon's out, then Lakes and Westbrook, of course. Jokic, Giannis, the two best spend-ups on the slate. I just have a little bit of worry about Washington keeping this game competitive. This price point on Jamal Murray is just far too cheap. So love Jokic, love Jamal Murray tomorrow. This is a great matchup for Michael Porter Jr. If Aaron Gordon's out, I really like him. If Aaron Gordon's in, I think Michael Porter Jr. is still strong. Don't love Braun, but still playable. And yeah, really like Westbrook if Aaron Gordon's out. So that's going to do it for the slate, guys. Hopefully you guys had a great night. I will talk to you on the next video.